One of the things that causes people to have success in our business is their mindset and the way they approach it. And I think that if you think about this business from a business owner's perspective rather than an employee perspective, you're going to treat it differently. And as you think about, I often reference a rental car. Have we ever changed the oil on a rental car? No, because it's not ours, it's somebody else's car. But if you have your own car, you change the oil on it. And I always treated this business as if it was my own, and the successful people do the same. In other words, we show up early, we leave late. If you were to own a restaurant and your janitor isn't there, you might have to be the one to clean the bathroom or clean the stove, So when you're approaching this business, don't expect anything to ever be given to you, although it probably will because of your leadership. But if it is to be, it's up to me. That needs to be the mentality. And so when I came into this company, I never thought about somebody else handing me anything. I had to earn it myself, and that's the way business owners think. And I never thought about somebody else doing anything for me. I had to learn it. Now, as you're getting trained, you have a trainer who's going to be going out and doing the appointments. Don't let that person be your crutch and think that they're going to do the appointments forever. Become independent as quickly as possible. Because when I joined this business, I was introduced by Eric Olson. Eric Olson was very busy. And if I allowed my success was based on his schedule, I would be very limited. So I had to hurry up and become independent. Same thing with recruiting interviews, same thing with doing follow-up interviews. I quickly found out that if I was depending on him, I would never get to the cash flow I wanted to get to. So my recommendation would be don't always blame yourself. I think that's what business owners do. If I had to blame the economy when I came to this company based on where it is right now in 2008, it would be very, very hurtful to me because I can't change the economy, but I can change myself. If I had to blame my spouse or I had to blame the country or the population that I live in my city, I can't change that, but you can always change yourself. So as a leader in business, you have to always look at yourself for the issues. If I have problems with my team, it might be a problem in me. If I have a problem with my cash flow, it's a problem in me. And I think often employees that come to our company, they always blame somebody else and they blame something else. The economy, their boss, their coworkers, and that's one of the reasons that people fail here. When I had my previous job, I remember I was getting paid by the hour before I joined WFG, and I remember thinking the salespeople inside the office, they were always trying to get me to get more cars. I was a mechanic, so I was always getting more cars in and more cars out, more cars in and more cars out. I started thinking if I was on commission and I got paid on the profits, I would really try to push these cars in and out. But if I'm breaking my back and busting my knuckles and I'm not getting anything more out of it, let me just take my time and pace myself. And I remember taking bathroom breaks and being in there a little bit longer than I needed to be just because I was on the clock. And it presented an opportunity for me to slack off as much as I can because I knew that they were giving me my hours and they were telling me how much I was worth. And I always hated that. When I came to WFG, the best thing about it was I determined how much I was worth. And that's what a business owner does. I bring value to the table. And I often felt like everybody would benefit from being under my leadership. Even though I'm not good yet, I'm not making a lot of money, I'm gonna be the one that's gonna drive this train. I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna commit to you. Every time you come to a meeting, I'm gonna be here earlier, I'm gonna leave later, and I had that commitment. And that's what a business owner has to have. And I found myself working 12-hour days. I'd get to the office earlier than I ever did at a job, and I'd leave later than I ever did at a job. There would be lunch breaks, and I would never take a lunch break because I didn't even know I was hungry because I was so excited building my business. And then you gain that WFG weight that you gain because you drink coffee, you wake up, and then you eat again at 8 o'clock at night and you forgot to eat. But when I had a job, I would take a lunch break exactly when they told me I would take it. I'd try to take it as long as possible. I'd never come back earlier because the income was what they told me I was worth. It wasn't dependent on my own abilities and efforts. Those are some of the mistakes that I found that people make is they don't treat it as if it's their own because they look at it as if it's their leader's office, it's their leader's BPM, it's their leader's full-timers meeting. And it's not. This is your office, this is your BPM, these are your guests. When I didn't even have an office and I would see trash in the bathroom, my guests are going to see the trash in the bathroom. So even though this is not my office, I picked up the trash and I threw it in the bathroom. If there's dirt on the floor, I swept it up because this is my business. And an employee would come in and say, let's have somebody else do it because this is not your business. So it's all a shift in the mindset, guys. It has nothing to do with your experience. It has nothing to do with your background. It has nothing to do with your IQ or your education level. It has to do with the way you think in regards to what you're doing. And if you treat this as if it's a gem and something you're going to give to your family, you're going to build it with quality, and you're not going to try to do it fast. We earned SMD because we built it step by step, building block by building block, and then we got to CEO, and then we got to EVC. It wasn't about the title, it was about building something that we own, that we can be proud of. And it's not just about making a living, it's not about just getting a paycheck, it's about saying, we did this. This is our reputation, our legacy, our company, and we own it. I've always looked at this business as if when I'm recruiting people, I'm not recruiting them to Transamerica Financial Advisors, and I'm not recruiting them to World Financial Group, I'm recruiting them to Paul Hart's leadership. And they buy you, they don't buy the company, they don't buy the office, they don't buy the chairs, they buy your vision and where the leader's going, and they don't care about where you've been, they don't care about where you're at, they follow where you're headed. And a business owner always talks about what their plans are and where they're going and what their vision is. And once you do that, you're going to find yourself having a lot of people that are surrounded and captivated by your vision, and then they follow you. And they follow you because they want to know that somebody's going to be there when times get tough. They want to know that they have a shoulder to lean on when there's a little bit of adversity. They want to know they can count on you. And I think that's what we have to show as owners and leaders, is that you can count on me. I'm not going anywhere. I remember a lot of times people tell me, well, what are my hours? Because they come in with the employee mindset. A business owner says, man, can I work as many hours as I need to get this business off the ground? Because you get paid when you get business done when you're a business owner, not based on the hours that you work. So when you're an employee, you get paid based on the hours that you work. So I would not let myself go home at night when I was getting this business started unless I got results. If we had a sale or recruits or some kind of positive activity, I would not go home at night. Didn't matter if it was 5 o'clock, didn't matter if my tummy was rumbling, I had to go get results. And now that I'm married with kids, I definitely have to get results because I have family to feed, and that motivates me. But I remember when I first got started, somebody put my name down as a reference for a timeshare presentation, and I went in because I was trying to actually recruit the people. I wasn't interested in buying a timeshare, because when you're starting a business, the last thing you want to do is take a vacation because your business won't be there when you come home. So I remember they were trying to present to me and sell me the timeshare and get me all excited about being on beaches in Hawaii and the Caribbean, and it never even dawned on me once to take a vacation because I was such an entrepreneurial-minded person. I knew if I was gone, my business would crumble. And as consequently, as I started building this business, I never had to worry about vacations because WFG travels you all the places you want to go, and they do it first class. So we always take company vacations because that's how they treat us here when you work hard. I'm so glad I sacrificed things. I invested into my business. I got securities licensed, insurance licensed. I opened up my own office. I rented my own office before I was even appointed, because I knew I wanted to have a place for my team to come into to say, I know where I can find my leader. This is Paul. And I knew if I had bills to pay, and I actually had a phone on my desk, and I had an environment where I can come to, I felt like a business owner. I didn't want to be in a corner just making calls in somebody else's office. So think about this. If you were the founder of a large public company, a lot of these founders of these companies have inspired me because they started in garages or they dropped out of school, and now they have global companies that have dominated the industry. And they started just like us, with nobody under them, nobody believing, everybody probably laughing at them saying it's never going to work, and they've proven everybody wrong. And that's what your job is as an owner and as a leader, is to prove everybody wrong, but at the same time prove to yourself that you have what it takes to do it. So you got to prove to yourself that you can do it, and what comes out of that is a sense of confidence. I no longer, often when I ask people how much would you like to earn, they speak the language of hourly wage and salary, and that immediately tells me they're thinking like an employee. See, business owners want to think about ownership. They want to think about equity. They want to think about how much can I earn per month? What's my limit? What's the need in the marketplace? And so I never knew this stuff coming in, but I always knew I never wanted to be limited. And in our business, we give you unlimited opportunity. The only one that limits us is us and the way we think about what's possible. I refused, guys, to listen to the news and let the news tell me it was a recession, because I didn't want to believe that it was a recession. And because of that, our business has grown since the recession hit. I started in this company in 2004, and I seen the economy decline, and our business has always progressed. We have a great opportunity that we can pass to the next generation that's literally has not been affected by the recession. And when I came into the company, I think entrepreneur is more of a state of mind. It's not a job title. Do you feel like, I love the fact that I make my own schedule because I work harder now making my own schedule when somebody else tells me when hours I can work. I love the fact now that I'm building my own company because I see my father work for somebody else and build somebody else's company his whole life and only barely make a living. I didn't want that in my life. My dad had a hard work ethic, but he built somebody else's company. So I said, what if I take my father's work ethic and I applied it to my own company? Now, thank goodness I didn't have to lay down the foundation for WFG. They got the website already set up for us. They got the compensation system already set up for us. It's an unbelievable opportunity that you can treat as your own. But you have to believe that it's possible, and you can't let anybody else discourage you. I remember when I got started, people told me, get a real job. And I love that because I never wanted a job. So by them telling me to go get a real job, it reinforced why I was here, because I didn't want a job. I didn't want somebody to tell me, what neighborhood I can live in, what schools I can put my kids in, what vacations I can take, what kind of cars I can drive. Because if somebody else is dictating my pay, they're dictating my son's education. But if I dictate my pay because I own my own business, I dictate my son's education. So what we need in North America is a group of leaders to bring back confidence, belief, business ownership, free enterprise, and entrepreneurialism back to North America. We were founded that way. We started that way. Let's bring that back to where we can inspire people to take ownership of their life.